Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. Trailed by 13 points in the second half in the building of Purdue's biggest rival. That would be Assembly Hall. That would be the Indiana Hoosiers. They found a way, the Kansas Jayhawks found a way to come back from 13 down behind 21 points from Kevin. He can't shoot, according to Jeff Goodman McCullough. And 17 points and 14 rebounds from Hunter Dickinson. Here's the big question I have about McCullough and DeJuan Harris. And I think we talked about this after the Champions Classic, and I think it's something that all of us kind of agree on, right? Is that the Achilles heel for Kansas is going to be perimeter shooting and floor spacing. And one thing that we've seen consistently this year and over the course of the last 2 years with DeJuan Harris specifically is that when McCullough and Harris are asked and left open, they make the majority of the big shots. Like in the moments where you're just sitting there, and there's no way for me to actually have like data on this, but it feels like in the moments when you're sitting there and you're watching them on TV and you say, ooh, that's a big one. Kansas needs that. When it's McCullough or Harris shooting, I swear they made every single one. They've never missed one where I'm sitting and thinking, yeah, that's a really big shot. Kansas really needs that shot. So, Goodman, my question to you is, like, at what point do we kind of say maybe these guys aren't ever going to be elite shooters, but maybe they're just kind of good enough to get the job done? Like, I think that's where I'm at now with both McCullough and DeJuan Harris. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm not there with DeJuan Harris because he just doesn't want to shoot like McCullough does. McCullough's made a bunch this year. He's been consistent in the fact that he's had the confidence and he isn't reluctant to shoot. DeJuan Harris, even today, okay, they opened the game and DeJuan Harris is matched up against a 160-pound freshman guard. And he does not take advantage of that matchup with Gabe Cupps at all. At all. At all. And I'm looking, I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, Bill Self to me at some point should be grabbing him and be like, come on, man. Like, you're the senior here. You've got to force the issue here, whether it's shooting threes or getting the basket and trying to overpower this kid. I know that's not Harris's game, but like, I just feel like he's in his comfort zone too much and it's not good for the team because ultimately that's what's going to hinder the team from going deep in the NCAA tournament. One of those games where he takes two shots, McCullough doesn't make threes, Hunter isn't making threes. I mean, it's not even that they don't make threes, Rob. It's that they don't have guys that can make plays off the bounce. They don't have that really even. They don't have scores. They don't have guys that want the ball and want to score it. Hunter does, but Hunter wasn't great today, especially in the first half. He was great down the stretch when they needed him. It was almost like they flipped the switch and they went in the last huddle at the 4-minute, timeout, and they were like, all right, guys, let's stop fucking around here. Let's just beat these guys. We're better. We know we're better. Let's just end this shit now.
You almost answered your own question to me, Jeff, on that, because I think that's part of the problem with DeJuan. I think he has to do so much on the other end of the floor. I think he defends at a high level. He had a hell of a play in the game once when I think that was Ware going in for that uncontested layup, and he chased it down and knocked it off of Ware. And it was a late when they was doing the run. It was a hell of a play. To your point, he is the main guy. He has to create for himself and he has to create for everyone else. I think he has as much responsibility with that team as anybody, and he's not the biggest guy, and I think he can wear down sometimes. So I think he picks and chooses his moments, but I don't know if you can go into a game and expect him to be such a focal point offensively because he has so much responsibility of creating for other people and defending that I think he does. I think it's a smart thing to do with him. It's just he picks his moment and figures out when a game, all right, these guys need me to score. Now, if you leave me open, I'll take it. But I don't think he can go into a game with this group looking to be really aggressive offensively because I think the other guys need him to score.
Yeah, I feel like they've done enough in the moments where they need to actually do something to have us just not. I'm at the point where I'm just not going to question them, right? Okay, maybe he needs to shoot a little more. Maybe he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe if you're defending them in the first 30 minutes, what you do is you just don't guard him because he's gonna save and pick his moments at the right spot. But I'm just my concern right now where we stand with Kansas is figuring out what they're going to do for like who's going to step up. Marco Jackson, Johnny Furphy, Jamari McDowell, Nick Timberlake. Like they need one of those guys to step up and be more than like just a guy, right? To me, that's kind of the key to them being able to win a national title and being able to win 6 games. I'm just done questioning DeJuan. Like that dude's just a gamer. You know, he doesn't make bad decisions. He doesn't do the wrong thing. He doesn't make the wrong play. He's going to lock you up. And he made a huge 3 tonight. Kevin McCullough made a huge 3 tonight. McCullough made 3 huge threes against UConn.
But with the complexion of this team, I think sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, like, all right, my team needs me to do a little bit more, be a little bit more selfish here. And in turn, it's going to help some of those other guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like, being more selfish for DeJuan Harris is going to open it up for the other guys. But I think he's so built to make people better, and that's his way of doing it, and that's how he has always done it. But again, I don't know. I think they're a flawed team in some ways, and I've said this on the record, and I will say it again. As great of a coach as Bill Self is, as great of a player as Hunter Dickinson is, as great of a point guard as DeJuan Harris is, as great of an improved player as Kevin McCullough is, I do not think this team can win 6 straight games in the NCAA tournament.
I
don't think they got enough shooting, so I don't disagree with that unless one of these guys from the bench steps up and consistently gives them perimeter shooting. But I just can't put anything past them because they tough as hell, and these guys just step up and make shots. And again, the problem is it can't just be DeJuan because he can't come out of the game, and you're asking him to do so much. But everybody else just steps up. These guys just figure it out, man. I just can't count out. I'll never count out a Bill Self team. They're flawed because they don't shoot it. They don't have enough shooting. But
you know what it is? They got a bunch of dudes that are just gamers and winners. Like that's what it is. Like just the guys that they're just winners that'll figure it out, and they got a coach that is a winner that figures it out. Right?
Again, I love the like. Saw him last
night.
No,
but here's the thing, Jeff. Like I'm not even disagreeing with your take, right? I think that you're right. I don't think the logic is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just kind of at the point where it's like all of everything that you're saying is right. But like, fuck it, this team just figures it out. Like, why? Yeah. I'm done doubting.
I'm done. It looked like they came out of the last time out and said, like, all right, man, look, they think they can win. We know we're gonna win this shit. Like that's literally that's what it looked like. When they came out of the last time out, it was like, all right, man, stop playing. We got this.
All right, look, and I'll tell you guys one other thing. One, I think Kevin McCullough should be very much in like the All-American conversation at this point. That dude has been so good this year. And 2, I think KJ Adams might be my favorite player in college basketball. Just like the fact that he can't really shoot it, but he finishes everything around the basket. The fact that he's never gotten a defensive rebound, the intensity that he plays with, like the short shorts, and the fact that he's out there and he looks like a bodybuilder that has spent more time doing bench presses than he has working on his free throws. Like I love watching that kid play. And I think that he's the perfect glue guy for any team in college basketball. I just love watching him. He's awesome.
It's this Kansas team kind of I walked away from saying last night, even before today's game, saying this might be the lowest maintenance group that Bill Self's ever had, right? They're like too nice off the court, but they are tough on the court. And they're also probably the worst shooting team, he's probably ever had collectively, right? I mean, they just, when Hunter Dickinson is your best shooter, and he is, and I just don't know if they're going to ever get Timberlake there again. Like his confidence looks shot. Johnny Furphy's going to be a good player, but I don't think he's an elite shooter, even if he starts making a little bit more. And he's so thin. He's just not physically. You watch him in person, he is, again, like really, really thin, half a Dauster again. That's how I try to, give the terminology.
Goodman, think about this alternate reality. Think about the alternate reality of Cam Spencer being on Kansas and Nick Timberlake being on UConn. How different would the conversations around both those teams be if that had been something that had ended up happening? All right. I do want to touch on Indiana real quick. We know it is your adopted team, Goodman. It's not technically your alma mater, but it might as well be your alma mater. You've probably spent more time on campus at Indiana than you did in the 5.5 years that it took you to graduate from Arizona. Trey Galloway was awesome. Mackenzie Mbako, I think, played the best game that he's played since he's been at Indiana. But the one thing that just like, here's the thing that I couldn't get over is the way that Bill self-defended them is he put Hunter Dickinson on Malik Renault, and he put whoever was at the 4 on Khalil Ware and just said, yeah, you know what? You want to throw the ball into Khalil Ware? Go ahead, because he ain't going to do anything. So that to me was just kind of like, that's going to be something I can't get over the entire season. I don't know how it works with those two. Where do you stand on this Indiana team after the performance they had tonight?
I mean, listen, they played well. They were right there. I thought Kansas, again, played like its C game. But this was a major missed opportunity for Indiana.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.